Commander Replay. We're back with some more Kenrith Tutorless combo. Can we find our combo off the top of our deck? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Also, be sure to use my TCG affiliate player link when buying new cards, as it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some more Kenrith the Return King Tutorless combo. Mulligan's opening hand. It's a one-lander. This is 4 lands and a Signet. Yeah, seems good. Pili-Pala is one of our combo pieces, so that all seems very, very good. I think I like that. So we'll go ahead and keep. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jared. And played one game with this deck already. We got comboed out pretty fast. Kind of a weird deck in that it's powerful, but it's missing the tutors, which means it's probably not super fast. You're probably looking at like turn 7, turn 8 kind of thing, I would guess, with this deck. I find that it's just a really interesting place to be. That the combo is very powerful and will win the game, but you do have to get a little bit lucky to find it, so it has made it a little bit difficult in telling opponents what kind of decks to bring, so it's been a slight challenge trying to figure out power level before the game. But anyway, that'll bring it to our turn 1. We draw a Narset's Reversal. We'll go ahead and play this Croson Verge since it comes in tapped, and we'll pass turn like that. Phyrexian Reclamation for the Vilis opponent. Yep, that's an Emery for opponent. Ugh. So it brings it back to our turn. We draw a Breeding Pool. I want to get this Narset's Reversal mana up as soon as I can, so I'm going to play the Breeding Pool untapped. We'll go for the Signet right here. I know that we could just go for a basic, but I'm just going to go about it this way. I don't think the 2 life's going to matter all that much. So, Thought Vessel for the Vilis opponent. Here comes Hainware Garrison. There's one you don't see as much of. Opponent's going to take a look with the Divining Top. Yep. Opponent's going to activate the Emery. And here comes a Soul Ring. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Ooh, here comes an O Naginata for the Soramaro opponent. That'll bring it back to our turn once again. There's a Fathom Mage. That's interesting. We'll be on 4 mana. I'm going to hold the Pili-Pala since it's part of our combo. I don't want it getting swept away in a board wipe, some sort of removal. You know, there's always a chance that we lose it to a wheel, which wouldn't be great, but we don't have like any mono-red opponents or decks that really look like wheel decks, so I think we can hold out. I'm just going to go ahead and play a basic right here, and then we're going to sit on the Narset's Reversal, and if nothing happens, then we'll crack the Croson Verge at the end step. So, taking a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up, we have Kiamlik 2, piloting Vilis, Broker of Blood. Vilis, a very strong mono black deck. You need to keep Vilis out of play, is the thing that you need to do. Otherwise, they're going to have 15 cards in hand. And they've got Thought Vessel in play already. The other thing that you can do is you can attack them and burn their life total down really quickly. That's an Aetherflux Reservoir. All right. Yep. That gains them life back, and that's a thing that Vilis wants to be doing. So, some pieces that I'd love to get rid of already from the Vilis. Hopefully that makes themselves the target. Next up, we have Dragon Knight 104 piloting Morophon the Boundless, and I believe this is their humans list. We've seen this one. We saw this one a while back, and it's actually pretty cool. A lot of like combat-based humans. Pretty sweet little deck, and it's just going to be like an aggro go wide deck, and there's some Anthem type things in there, and it can just pound out some damage. So they've already got this Hainware Garrison going. And this thing can spit out tokens in a hurry, so opponent's going on the attack into the Vilis, and they're going to get the Hainware trigger. It's going to make 2 red 1/1s, and they're going to split those tokens up between the other 2 players, ourselves included. Here's an Impulse for the Soramaro opponent, and Soramaro being piloted by Fish Said Fish. Looks like it's going to be a blue artifact theme kind of deck. I've seen this commander a couple times in the past. It's been a while, honestly, but I think the win con is something along the lines of like get doubled mana, do crazy things, as is usually the case with most mono blue decks. Opponents can activate the Emery, choosing a Thought Vessel, and they're going to cast themselves a Thought Vessel. They do have a Padim in their graveyard, yeah, so it's like this is going to be a mono blue artifact type deck, and there's a number of these. Usually doubled mana, tripled mana is part of their win con somehow. There might be a Palancron in there too. Opponent's going to activate the Divining Top, sure. And at the end step, we'll crack the Croson Verge right here. Let's get a Stomping Ground and a Temple Garden. I accidentally paid the life on that. I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Was talking while I was clicking. Always a dangerous thing to do. That's a Sigarda, Host of Herons. That's a pretty cool card, right? Also one that's probably going to be pretty good against the mono black deck. I think we're still a few turns away from Vilis. They don't seem to have tons and tons of mana ramp going, so I like the way that sounds. Let's play this forest. I think I'm just going to start with the Fathom Mage and hope it doesn't get shot. Unfortunately, won't have Narset's Reversal mana up, but what can you do? Got to play some things eventually. So next turn, like, we could theoretically play Kenrith and then put a counter on the Fathom Mage, and we would draw 2 cards from that. Opponent's going to fire off a Beast Within on the Aetherflux Reservoir, so Aetherflux Reservoir down. That's lets me breathe a sigh of relief, and opponent gets themselves a 3/3 Beast. Sword of Feast and Famine coming into play. All right, there's some mana ramp. Equips the Beast with the sword. Where are they going to send it? Into Dragon Knight. I'm down for that. It's going to hit. Sword of Feast and Famine's going to trigger. Opponent's going to have to discard a card, and Vilis will get to untap their lands. Discards a Bruce Tarl. Bruce Tarl, pretty good human. Double Strike and Lifelink. Those are good abilities. There's a Necropotence. That card's not scary at all. Opponent's going to activate the Necro. Yep, opponent going for 5 Necros. Going to go for a full hand. So if we cast Kenrith, I'll probably attack the Vilis opponent. Getting their life total nice and low is always going to be a good idea, especially with Necropotence in play. As it stands right now, we won't have enough mana to do the haste and trample and to do the +1/+1 counter thing, but I don't know. Maybe the haste and trample is just better to try to put some damage on them. There's a Kodama's Reach for the Morophon opponent. Yep. Opponent's going to do some attacking with the Haimware Garrison once again. Everything going into the Vilis. Yep. Vilis is definitely an archenemy style commander because going into the late game with Vilis is just not a thing that you want to do. Once they get like a Cabal Coffers and have a ton of mana, you'll probably never have creatures in play. They'll draw a good portion of their deck. It's just really scary. So they go down to 29. Oh, that's a Recurring Insight. I wish we had Narset's Reversal mana up. Oh, that makes me so sad. Can we do it on the rebound? Oh, I think we can. I think we can. There's a mana crypt for opponent. Yep. They do have a Thought Vessel. They have 12 cards in hand, so not bound to max hand size currently. Although, maybe returning the Recurring Insight is a little dangerous, but it would get us a ton of cards. And that seems cool. So, the blue player slamming down a ton of artifacts this turn. We got the Mana Crypt, we got a Spell Bomb, and we got an Arcane Signet. Yeah, Narset's Reversal is probably much better on the first half of that Recurring Insight. I don't know if it's something we want to do on the second half, but oh, it's real tempting. There's a Collective Restraint that's actually a really good piece of pillow fort. Especially in a 5-color deck like this. Number of basics, right? For number of basic land types. Yeah, we've got a few. I think we've got everything except Swamp. Play this Canopy Vista. It'll come in untapped. I'm going to play Kenrith right here. So our choices right here are the Narset's Reversal or giving things haste. I think I'm going to give up on the haste Dream right here and just hold up Narset's Reversal. I'm sure we're going to need it. We'll get an Evolve trigger on the Fathom Mage. Pretty sweet. There's a Beast Whisperer. Oh, man, as much as I want to attack Vilis, the blue player has a lot of cards. I think, yeah, I'm going to send the Fathom Mage over to the Soramaro just to make sure that everyone's paying a little bit of attention to them. Down to 37 they go. I know it's not a huge hit, but next turn we should be able to hopefully get a little bit more going. We'll see what dies in board wipes and what doesn't this turn also. That's a Yawgmoth. Ooh. Well, opponent's only got 1 creature, so that's good. Equip the sword onto the Yawgmoth. Yeah, there were no open attacks with the Feast and Famine. Opponent wouldn't have been able to get in anywhere with it. I guess, yeah, we could put a counter on Kenrith, so we could block and pump it up. Now, don't know if opponent would just throw their Emery in front of the Beast, so opponent potentially leaving a little bit on the table right there, but they now have a protected Yawgmoth, and that seems pretty good. One thing we could do at some point, we could play Teferi's Protection and then Narset's Reversal to Teferi's Protection, and that would be a sweet line of play. This card is really crazy. It allows you to do some really wacky stuff. Here comes Morophon into play. Oh, these humans about to get much bigger. Opponent's going to bounce the Morophon with the Spell Bomb. Opponent sending a detachment over to the blue player, and Haimware Garrison's going to trigger. Opponent's going to block a token with the Emery, sure. Opponent takes a hit, goes down to 31, so getting their life total moving a little bit. They have a Mana Crypt, Inventor's Fair, and Recurring Insight. I've decided I'm going to let the Recurring Insight go. We have card draw with the Fathom Mage. We've now got the Beast Whisperer, so we have ways to draw cards. and putting the Recurring Insight back in their hands seems very dangerous, so I'm just going to save the Narset's Reversal for the next thing that they try to do, because undoubtedly there will be another big instant or sorcery spell that they try to cast. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Does make me a little bit sad. Drawing a bunch of cards, always really exciting, but I think we're better off holding right here. Opponent wins a mana crit flip. Going to gain some life off the Inventor's Fair. Yep. Oh, that's a Gauntlet of Power. Can't do much about that one. That's the thing that'll kill you in a mono blue deck. It's the mana doubler. Pendant of Prosperity coming into play. Yep. It enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent of your choice. Draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Pendant of Prosperity's owner draws a card. Then that player may put a land onto their hand from the battlefield. Pretty interesting little card. So we can draw a card and then put a land onto the battlefield, all for 2 mana. Doesn't seem awful. Opponent's going to activate Emery to recast the Spellbomb. Yep. Opponent's going to recast the Divining Top, recast the Spellbomb. I'm not going to use the Pendant right here because I don't want to help the blue player right now because they're kind of ahead. So I'm just going to put a +1/+1 counter on our Fathom Mage, and that'll get us an extra card draw. Also make it a little bit bigger. We draw a card. It's an Immortal Sun. Planeswalkers that we need to worry about. Makes our spells cheaper. That is pretty reasonable. Draws us an additional card. There's a Gaddock Teague. I can do some stuff, right? That can probably solve many issues, actually. That would prevent the board wipe. It would prevent the mono black board wipe. The mono black board wipe's only going to hit creatures, which is bad for us. Bad for the humans player. I kind of want the humans player to, smash face on the other 2 players. They could have an Austere Command, which would be better against the blue player. Some sort of artifact board wipe, and that I would definitely want to go through. We only have 2 blue mana currently, which means we'd have to find another island to be able to play Collective Restraint and leave up the Narset's Reversal, so I might just be on Sigarda right here. I think it's going to be Sigarda. Again, we won't be able to haste it, which I don't love. Maybe we also need to think about leaving up Teferi's Protection. Yeah, maybe we just go Beast Whisperer then. Yeah, I think I'm on Beast Whisperer. Like, we have such good reaction spells. I want to be able to react to stuff. I'm not super happy. You know what? Maybe we're activating the Pendant. Really want to make a land drop. It's a Noble Hierarch. No lands. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay. I guess it's a Mana Dork. Mana Dorks are cool. Ugh, we need a Mana Doubler. Don't have enough mana to get all this stuff into play. Yeah, so I think we're on Mana Dork. Got 4 mana left. Yeah, I mean, we can't tap out with Narset's Reversal and Teferi's in hand. That is just not a thing that we can do. Notably, the Yawgmoth's actually pretty big. We don't really have a way through there. We'd have to pump a bunch of times before we could do that, so... Gonna swing over to the Soramaro opponent. They've got 6 mana open. I'm thinking they might have a capsize, is what that sort of feels like to me. Opponent's gonna return Kenrith to our hand. Yeah, that's the thing that can happen. Think we just let that go. It's a lot of mana to lose, but I think it's gonna happen. Opponent's gonna take a look with the Divining Top. Opponent's gonna take a hit for 4, goes down to 28. We have 9 cards in hand. We got to discard 2 things. I think I'm gonna go get rid of Sigarda. We can reanimate it later if we find black. Actually, we have the Signet. I'm not like completely sold on Gaddock Teague right here. I really want someone to play an artifact board wipe is what I want to happen. So there's an extra planar lens. Yep. Opponent's got the mana doubling. Okay, opponent's going to rewind. Yeah, that works. That was also why I didn't want to try to make like too big of a play on our last turn. Opponent had a bunch of mana up with a lot of cards in hand, so probably a counterspell. If opponent tried to wipe the board of just creatures, I'd probably let that go. Instead, they're going to try to shoot down our Fathom Mage, or at least get themselves a card draw. Surprisingly didn't shoot the Hierarch. There's a Gilded Lotus, yep. Still solid mana ramp, not as strong as the extra planar lens, but still very good. Oh my, and that's an Exquisite Blood. We don't have anything for that. That's a swan song. All right. Exquisite Blood down. So Soramaro doing some good charity work over there, not letting this game get too far out of hand. Opponent's going to shoot a token with the Yawgmoth, yeah. Sacrificing the bird. Opponent going to do some attacking, sending Yawgmoth our way. Yep. I knew I really wanted to get that Collective Restraint in. Can't block. Oh, opponent's going to disallow the Sword of Feast and Famine trigger. Okay. Told opponent I'm not going to attack him for a bit since they just saved us from a Feast and Famine trigger. I don't know, that may not be the best deal right here. I know opponent's still got 9 cards in hand with a lot of mana ramp, but they did just save us from a Feast and Famine trigger, so there's that. I really didn't want to discard again. Morophon coming back to play. Yep. It resolves. Opponent going to send 1 token our way, 1 into the Vilis, and a bunch of damage over to the Soramaro. And they get a Hainware Garrison trigger. So those are all 2/2s because of the Morophon, and that's some pretty serious damage. It's not going to end the game, but if a board wipe doesn't show up here, it's going to put life totals in a place where opponent could start thinking about an Alpha Strike next turn if they have a big card in hand. If they have like a True Conviction or an Overrun or something like that. So Vilis down to 23, we're at 29, and Soramaro down to 19. Looking at a Mana Crypt flip and an Inventor's Fair. Would love to see him lose this Mana Crypt flip. They win the flip. Gain some life on Inventor's Fair. They're going to crack the Inventor's Fair. Let's see what they're going for. Alhammeret's Archive. Woo! The Archive coming into play. Opponent's got, looks like, 7 mana open. Opponent's going to Treasure Cruise. Don't think they'd be able to Treasure Cruise again because they just delved a bunch of stuff. They would draw 6 cards off that. That seems pretty good. I'm thinking Narset's Reversal on the Treasure Cruise. Get ourselves the card draw. If worst case scenario, we'll have a little counterspell battle. And that'll probably tap opponent out. Opponent's going to Divining Top, sure. Divining Top again. Draw with the Divining Top. Oh, maybe they found something. No, Narset's resolves. So we get to draw 3 cards. There's some lands. Ooh, that's a Hokori. Yeah, Hokori seems good right here. There's a Propaganda. That'll slow down the onslaught. Propaganda means Hokori isn't going to work because I still want the humans player to kill our other 2 opponents for us. Opponent's going to activate Emery, get the Spell Bomb back. Recast the Spell Bomb. Ooh, going to bounce the Yawgmoth. All right. I like that. Now we got the blue player tapped out. They could have free counter spells, but, you know, I'll take them being tapped out. Notably, we also drew a Reliquary Tower, which I think I'm going to go ahead and play that Reliquary Tower since we have a lot of cards in hand. For the most part, we are out of interaction after the Narsets. Can't say I love that. Could activate the Pendant and get ourselves another land. Maybe not the worst idea. We have 8 mana available currently. We could probably use a bit of ramp. Love to get this Immortal Sun in. 9 with the Noble Hierarch. Yeah, I guess we're on Immortal Sun? Immortal Sun Teferis? Yeah, I think Immortal Sun Teferis is our play right here. We've got 3 mana open. Teferis would cost 2. Swing into the Vilis opponent. Ooh, we get an Exalted trigger. Forgot about that. Hit opponent for 5. Brings him down to 18. We'll pass like that. So the plan right here is going to be sit on Teferis. If we need to, end step and use the Pendant, get ourselves an extra land. And then next turn... Oh, that's a Leyline of the Void. That's a good one. And then next turn, with the Immortal Sun down, we should actually be able to cast like a couple spells in a turn. We've been mostly relegated to like mostly 1 spell a turn. 1 spell and sit on our interaction has been kind of the plan the past 7 turns or so. There's the Toxic Deluge. We would lose a Fathom Mage and a Noble Hierarch. Oh, is that worth saving? Brings opponent down to 11. I mean, Fathom Mage just attack stuff. People are starting to get pretty low on life. But then the blue player is going to have pretty free reign, I think. And that is definitely a bit scary. Talking like literally we're talking about protecting a Fathom Mage and a Noble Hierarch. I think we let it go. I think I'm more worried about trying to keep this other stuff alive. I think I want to hold it to fairies for more meaningful stuff. Yawgmoth back to play. Yep. Would love to see some haste out of the humans player. If they could get something big with haste, that would be ideal. We're going to keep activating that Necro. Yep. They're down to 1 card, so there's 3 activations. 4, 5. So go for 5 activations. Put them up to 6 cards in hand. Here's a Crackling Doom. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. So that'll get rid of the Yawgmoth. The opponent's going to lose 2 life. That means that we just need to recast Kenrith, give it haste, and we can take down Vilis. We basically just need to not lose to the blue player right here. Ooh, and Opponent taps out about 5 lands and passes. Doesn't have anything to do with the 5 or so mana. Mana crit flip on the Soramaro opponent. Opponent has 6 mana via artifacts, which also means Hikori's probably not the best against them. There's a Fact or Fiction, yep. That's not a draw spell, notably, so that one doesn't synergize the same way with Alhamrets. Opponent gave it to us. Oh, Training Grounds. Seems like a combo with the commander. There's a Leyline of the Void in play. Target, instant, or sorcery. Opponent doesn't have any of those. Yeah, opponent went for the Training Ground. That is definitely part of their combo. There comes the Training Ground. Crap. Crap. Pretty nervous. Oh, and there's a Heartstone. It now costs, what, 1 to do that ability? Opponent's going to cast their commander. Okay. It's a 10/10. Cool. Gonna draw a card. Draw another card. That is a 16/16 Soramaro. Yep. Oh no, I forgot to activate the thing at the end step. I have 6'd. Crap. That's gonna hurt. I'm sure we needed that mana. We'll draw additional card with the Immortal Sun. Yep. Bunch of lands. Wasn't looking for that. What are we doing? I mean, I think get Kenrith. Yeah, cast Kenrith. Oh, opponent's gonna counter us. Okay. So Kenrith back to the command zone. Let's play the Reflecting Pool. It'll take 3 to get us Collective Restraint. And I think that's a thing that we want to be doing right here. Yeah, let's get the Collective Restraint. Oh man, I really wish I activated the Pendant last turn. Keep sitting on Teferis. Opponent lays down a Nykthos. That means they should be able to get Vilis, although... Vilis is good. Vilis is less good when you only have 4 life. This Torment of Hellfire that's probably coming, though, is going to hurt quite a bit. Yep, Torment of Hellfire, X12. Alright. We've got a decent amount of life. We can pay some life. If we get Kenrith in, we can gain all that life back, which is super sweet. Probably pitch a couple lands somewhere along the way. We've got Beast Whisperer, so we can draw cards, so we should be able to... Oh, the blue player's got so many cards in hand, they can just discard. Yeah, they can literally just discard and, like, not lose any life. Leyline of the Void's in play, so anything we discard isn't coming back. It's good to keep in mind. Get rid of the grasslands. Hikori just hasn't been good. It's not a card that we need this time, so get rid of that. Lose 3 life. Get rid of the forest. We're on 5 of 12. I'm going to be losing some life here. Maybe we just sacrifice the pendant. Oh. We could have Teferis in response to that, couldn't we? Yeah, I suppose we could have. Guess we're going to get rid of the pendant. 8 of 12, huh? Discard the swamp, the land. Guess we lose 3 life. Down to 6. Yeah, we should have Teferis. I don't know what I was thinking. Whoops. It's okay, though. All we have to do is survive back to our turn, and we can theoretically gain a lot of life back. Now, the blue players still just... They can do a lot. They can do a lot. What opponent discard? Discarded... it's in exile, rather. Path to Exile. Yeah, that's one I would have liked to see. Yawgmoth. Their commander's in exile. That seems bad. This is a Patriarch's Bidding. Cool. Oh, Patriarch's Bidding can get us Gaddock Teeg. And Gaddock Teeg can probably shut down some nonsense from the blue player. Gaddock Teeg is a Kithkin. Bruce Tarl into play. Opponent gets themselves a Burnished Heart. Mana crit flip for the Soramaro. They seem to be winning a lot of these. I would love to see them start losing a couple. Nope, wins another one. Opponent's going to return the Spell Bomb. Yep, so they probably have to blink Gaddock Teeg, is what I'm guessing. Spell Bomb coming back. Yep, bouncing the Gaddock Teeg. Makes me sad. Time stretch. Paradoxical Outcome. Opponent's going to draw a lot of cards. I'm guessing it's just like Labman win, draw the deck, try to Labman. 25-25 Soramaro. And they draw a double because of the Alhamret's Archive. Well, that was why I went for the Gaddock Teeg. Wish we had Thalia in play. Thalia would really cut down on the nonsense right here. Soul Ring. Signet. Thought Vessel. Cyclonic Rift. Yeah, we need Immortal Stun to... Yeah, I'm going to Teferis protect that. Hope on no free counters. It resolves. We are protected. Lightning Greaves. Equip the commander. Who are they going to swing at? I'd probably go for the mono black player personally, and that's what they're going to do. So, Vilis going down, 2 commander damage from the Soramaro. Humans will get an untap. Blue players also tapped out, 17 cards in hand. If they have a free counter, they probably have it. We really need to do some stuff right here. I don't know that we're getting more turns. Spell Tithe and Forth is actually solid. City of Brass. City of Brass is not the best when you're at 6 life. Play City of Brass. Opponent's at 15. Our commander would be 6 after the cost reduction. We could give it haste. That would be 7. That's only 5 damage. That like doesn't win the game. Pillipala has this thing of flying. It does have flying. Pillipala has flying, so I think we're on cast Pillipala as a blocker. Yeah, that seems like the plan. So I think I'm on Beast Whisperer. Go Gaddock Teague. We'll draw a card. Would love to. We already played a land. Ooh, that's Smothering Tithe. Oh, I want to get that in, but I feel like we need both Pillipala and Spell Tithe. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a turn on the the Smothering Tithe, I think. Oh, actually, you know what? We can't cast Smothering Tithe because Gaddock Teague is in play, so we'll have to let opponent deal with our Gaddock Teague first. That's a Promicon. Ooh, that's also got flying. We have 4 left, so we have the choice between Promicon or Spell Tithe. Spell Tithe is going to be better against opponent trying to cast a million spells, which they can still do. Promicon gives us another blocker. Think I'm going for Spell Tithe. Hopefully it doesn't bite us. Losing a life to the City of Brass. We'll draw with the Beast Whisperer. It's a mana confluence. Ugh. Land for opponent. 1 card in hand. See what it is. It's a Bruce Tarl. Opponent will have to pay 1. Mana Crypt flip for opponent. Please lose 1. Finally losing 1. Down to 12. Don't know if we're getting another turn or not. It's difficult to say. Oh, opponent's going to play a Royal Elemental? Gross. And then they can just steal our Pillipala? Yep. Landfall trigger, yep. Stealing the Bruce Tarl, okay. That's fine. I think opponent probably just trying to gain themselves some life. That might be the plan. They can easily mess up against this collective restraint, though, if they tap out a bunch of... Ooh, opponent Ghost Quarters gets another trigger. Okay. I see what's going on now. Taking the Beast Whisperer, interesting. Boots onto the Royal Elemental, yep. Opponent's going to play a Relic of Progenitus, Spell Tithe Enforcer. Got to pay for it. Pays for it. See what opponent does right here. Royal Elemental... opponent trying to send their commander into us. They will have to pay for it, and in all likelihood, we're going to block here. So they pay for it. Block the commander. Opponent goes down. We survive at 5. Opponent's got 1 blocker. It's our creature. They're still at 12. That's a little bit of damage. We don't really have 12 damage stacked up anywhere, even if we recast our commander. Do we have enough to get Sigarda? So 6 to get our commander. We have 5 mana. We would need like a mana rock off the top. We would need like Soul Ring or something. If we did that, we could go Kenrith, reanimate Sigarda, give everything haste, then swing. Burnish Heart coming in for opponent. They'll get to draw an extra card. Even something like Homeward Path would be useful if we could get our Beast Whisperer back. There is a Cyclonic Rift in the deck. That would be very, very good. Boots over to the commander. Yep. We draw a Plains, not helpful, and a Winds of Abandon. Oh my. Hope on no free counters. All right, let's just weigh all of our options. Our commander will be 6. 7 with haste. We'll have 11 mana. We're not going to have enough to do everything. We would if we hit that extra land with the pendant on that 1 turn. I guess that just puts us on Winds of Abandon swing. Opponent's got boots. We got to be careful of that. They can just recast their commander. Ooh, yeah, that's a thing. So opponent could recast their commander, which means we would need a blocker. Because it'll come in with haste. Yeah, okay. So let's Winds of Abandon. Oh, Winds of Abandon will only be 5. All right, hold the phone, hold the phone. I mean, I guess play the Plains. So that'll be 11. Be 12 to give everything haste. Oh, I think we're still 1 short. So I guess that puts us on Winds of Abandon. Yeah, we're 1 short of hasting Kenrith. Opponent will get themselves a number of lands. Mana is bad when they've got a doubler. Swing with both. Opponent goes down to 5. Let's play Promicon, get a blocker. It's a 3/7. Opponent's going to make us exile a card. Go for the land. Yeah, if we, amongst other things this game, if we just hit that pendant activation, we would have had enough right there to give Kenrith haste. Opponent loses the flip, finally goes down to 2. We need to survive, though, and I'm not convinced that we're going to be able to do that just yet. But we've given opponents some hoops. They can't cast spells 4 or greater. They have to pay the 1 to the Spell Tithe Enforcer. Oh, there's a Capsize. Okay. Opponent has a Capsize. They're going to bounce Gaddock Teague. If they take a big turn spell, that could be an issue. Capsize will be a real problem. Did it go to graveyard? No, they bought it back. Wash out. Return all permanents of the color. Yeah, okay, now we're in trouble. Spell Tithe Enforcer. Choosing blue? For some reason, Mana Crypt went down. I didn't see how. No, they didn't choose blue. They chose white. Okay. Which means opponent has to cast their commander, and then they still have to pay for the Collective Restraint. I don't think they have enough. They can capsize the Collective Restraint. Oh, now they might. Now they might. Okay. 8? Yeah, I think they've got Exaxes. Yep, here comes the commander. Yeah, now we're dead. Yep, boots. Yep, in for the big hit. Down we go. Ow, that hurts. There's a Flusterstorm. Potentially helpful. Yeah, I could have countered the Capsize. Would have been good. Oh, there was Flash. Okay, so a couple things. I know I misplayed a couple times in this game. Been a little bit under the weather the past week, so my head's been killing me, and it is tough to think straight. Missed that pendant activation. That was huge. If we could have given Kenrith haste on that last turn right there, that would have done it. That would have been the 5 damage we needed. So that was a big miss. Just, one land like that can make all the difference. Getting Kenrith bounced early was pretty painful. We actually never got him back to play after that. It was such a big tempo loss that we just never had the time. One thing I noticed, this deck is super mana hungry, and it probably needs more mana doublers. Now, I get they pulled a bunch of tutors out of the deck, which means they're probably trying to power it down, which means adding mana doublers will power the deck back up. So right now this deck is in some sort of balancing act, trying to not be too strong, I think is what's happening. So, obviously mana doublers will make it much stronger. I felt like I really wanted a mana doubler. Opponents had mana doublers. Aside from the misplays, the reason that opponent won right there is they're just making more mana than us. They had that mana doubler that stuck. We never had the ability to blow it up. And because of that, in more or less words, they won the game because of it. So yeah, I would definitely look at some mana doubling. There's a ton of ramp in the deck. The deck feels really soft to creature decks. I'm looking at the interaction in this deck. We have things like Counterspell, Narset's Reversal, Flusterstorm. We have the Spell Tithe Enforcer. It tells me that this deck is probably played in a more combo-centric meta, because this deck is really soft to permanents and creatures. There's not a lot of ways to deal with permanents and creatures in this deck, which tells me that they're probably just not running into very many of them. So that's kind of what I was seeing. Personally, I would have a couple more board wipes in the deck. I like really traditional removal, but if you're not running into that stuff, then then it's not going to be as helpful. So overall, it's a cool little deck. There's some things that I would do differently. Again, the mana doublers. I like really traditional board wipes. A lot of spot removal for artifacts and enchantments, and we just didn't have that much of that kind of stuff, so that hurt. Winds of Abandon was okay, but we also gave our opponent a ton of lands right there. Had we not given them a ton of lands, we probably would have had them locked out for a couple more turns while we gave ourselves a good chance. Again, with better piloting, yes, we would have won the game, but that doesn't mean that there still aren't changes that we can make to try and improve the deck. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.